So here we are getting towards the end of January into the beginning of 2023, and we're going to give us an update on our Kalk reactor, which is the 3-stage blue unit that we made that's now metering Kalk in overnight. So let's go inside and get an update on how that's working. So the Kalk reactor has been running now solid for a little more than a month. We had some challenges with it in the beginning, but we've really got it running now. And we've made some additions and some changes. We had some questions to it, but you can see pretty well the corals are growing well. The aquarium is clear. Lots of good growth on all of the acropores. There's about 85 different acroporid colonies and lots of other stonies between Montiporas, Seriatoporas, Turbinarias, obviously Euphyllias, some torch corals inside the aquarium. And let's kind of go over how it's been working and what we're doing to it. We have our Kalk going now. pH at this point is about 8.22, 8.21. When I came in this morning, it was 8.11. And literally 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, before we put this on, we were running in the low 8s, like 8.01, 8.02. So it's jacked up at least a point overnight. We made some modifications to the administration of kalkwasser going in over the 11-hour period. Started at about 7 p.m. when the pH was highest at the end of the day, somewhere around 8.25, maybe 8.23, and started dripping Kalk over an 11-hour period continuously, with the Apex system doing it on the dose heads, so that we're dripping the 10 gallons a day of kalkwasser for the 10 gallons of evaporation in this particular reef aquarium. We have the Kalk stirrer running, which was at a Waukee 20 here underneath, and that's running in the vessel with the Kalk. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how we're administering Kalk into the system on a once-a-week basis. We're using Julian's kalkwasser here, and we've now just upped this size CHEMI-PURE jar container to 1 container weekly for the lovely reef. We had it before at about half a container. And really what we're doing is getting super saturation of kalkwasser in the clear liquid form that's getting pulled here to the dose system and up into all the dose heads up there. One of those is running it at night. This pH probe on this side here is showing us a pH of 11.6, which is what we want. That's super saturated kalkwasser. And all of this interface doesn't have any foreign air coming into the space, just this little bit up here where the float switch is. So it's a very limited amount of air that interacts with this unit. I'm going to open it now. So we're going to say we have, I'm going to guess, a half a gallon of air once a week of new air that goes in there. It's not a big deal. So I got to get up there and I'll show you how we do it. Basically, you just take the 3 of these off. It's not holding back water, it's just kind of holding off the air, but it's not pulling air when it's evaporating and pulling the water out. It's actually pulling RO water coming in through here with this clean RODI water that's coming in. So we simply take off the 3 nuts. You got your 5 minutes a week that we're doing this. Take your lid off right here. We can lay that down pretty much anywhere. And then you want to be careful, obviously, with the kalkwasser. You're not going to want to breathe in the calcium carbonate dust and get it in your eyes. And if you get it on your fingers, you're going to wash it off. But I got a full container right here. We're going to pour that in to the top. You can see in here it mixing thoroughly, spinning around, which gives you an idea of how it's mixing, which again is very important. We've got the new Kalk inside, and we'll put on, thread this lid back on and seal it. Could put some wing nuts up here, but these are working fine for what it is. You only do it once a week, and you want to seal this down reasonably tight. But that's what you're doing. If I want to purge this little air out up here, you see there's a tiny little air, I just go like this and burp it, and it'll go right out like so. This one has barely any air in there whatsoever. Also, very small amount. And you can tell that it's working well because the effluent is clean after the mixing. It'll go off automatically here in about another hour. And then this first vessel here will settle. This portion on the top will clear up, and the part down here will have that little bit of kalk from this container settled on the bottom of the unit. So that's how it works. It'll pull out from this vessel, which pulls from this vessel, So you have enough capacity here. This is about 12 gallons between the two of these. And we have another vessel, which is about 8 gallons. It pulls over and starts filling this one and that one. So we had a couple of questions related to the kalkwasser interface and also related to the fact that we were originally using a kalk stir that also ran only at night, but it was a much smaller vessel. It held about maybe 4 gallons of kalkwasser, and then during evaporation at any time of the day it was administering. We ran it at night. It really never affected pH much, but right now it has affected pH. This new kalk unit, we've got it up to about an 8.12 in the morning. We've seen it as high as 8.16 at 8 o'clock in the morning as the lights are going on, so that's a good sign. We've gone up a full point plus. And now we're starting to add more kalk. That was one of the questions we had. Just use, 2 teaspoons to a gallon. I like when somebody, asks the question, 2 teaspoons to a gallon, right? And I think, well, no, it might need more than that. It's a big aquarium. It has 2,000 gallons of operating water. So when you're putting 10 gallons of high pH kalkwasser at an 11 or a 12 pH, that's supersaturation of kalk, in RODI water, now you're administering this larger amount volume of 10 gallons plus per night at 11 pH or higher. So that is elevating the pH in the system. Putting more kalk, now doubling it up, we're going to see what happens this week and see how that affects it. But our goal really is to get to an 8.3, stay at 8.3 at the low end, and literally get as high as we can. 8.4, 8.5 would be ideal if we can get that high. We may have to add other pH buffering solutions into the water eventually, but we like the idea of getting the pH in the overall system at a more elevated constant level, and we're going to see how that's running along as we go. I had another question related to the TwinTech reactor, the DELTEC that's in there. Works super well, and that TwinTech reactor is running 24 hours a day. We haven't adjusted that because we haven't really exceeded a calcium level of about 460, and our DKH is running about 8.3, 8.4 in that range. So we haven't had a situation where we decided we're going to turn off the TwinTech reactor at night and let the kalkwasser go in at night. So we're not getting that far with it yet, but we're going to explore how it works, and maybe we'll deal with that if we get to a situation where calcium is getting too high or DKH is getting up above a 9. But for now, we see it making a difference in the pH change, which is important. And again, we'll see how over the next month it stabilizes. One of the most important things to realize in a big reef aquarium or even a smaller reef aquarium is incremental changes are better than quick changes. If we decided we're gonna, take it from some lower number to a higher number right away, that could shock the corals, that could cause a problem, that could cause the corals to, get pissed off and bleach out, or anything could possibly happen with that. But we're seeing great growth. It's really working super well right now, and can't wait to see how it progresses now over and into the month of February. Maybe we'll give a report back in a month in March, and I'll show some graphs of how the changes have been off the Apex unit with the stabilized pH in the mornings and more stabilized throughout the day and in throughout the night. So that's the goal. We'll keep you updated. Like, subscribe, and send us your questions. See you next time.